Hey guys, it's Tori May. Thanks so much for joining me today. So we are going to go over the new Karity palettes. So these are Karity Cosmetics is a new brand of makeup that's supposed to offer affordable prices for professional makeup. So we have two palettes to try out today. We have the Nudes and Roots and the Just Peachy palette. I did a little Valentine's Day look to bring us into the love season. So thank you so much for getting on with us today, and of course for clicking the subscribe button. Make sure you like and share with your friends. But without further ado, we'll get into our review as well as how the palettes worked for myself. This is just a personal opinion, so feel free to take what I've said, test them out for yourself, and yeah, so let's keep on watching. Okay, so to get started, they did come in these little boxes, so I got two, right? So I got the Karity palette, Just Peachy palette. So this one is for more peachy colors, oranges, reds, and tones like that. So I got this one right away because I needed something with warm colors. Overall, I don't really have a transition shade that works very well for me. I went from having Chinese makeup, basically, to finally buying something that I could afford that was good enough. So, coming out of the box, the actual package does look like the box, basically. It does have a nice little book kind of feel to it, cardboard, very medium lightweight. So, it does come with a medium to large mirror. Very happy with the mirror size. And the film. So, when we do look at the actual colors themselves, we do see that we have a few. I've already touched this. I haven't gotten into this, right? Because I loved it so much. So we do have shades that are matte. We have shimmers. We also have other sparkle shades, but mainly it's a combination of everything. So this is the 15 highly pigmented shadows in 6 finishes. So that's the Just Peachy palette. So there's that. Okay. Now as well too, I had to, it's just the way that it sounded, it just spoke to me. So this is the Nudes and Roots palette. So this one, same type of box, it matches, they're cute, I love it. So, open this up. And these are more like rose and nude tones. So it is called Nudes and Roots. Rose gold color. So another film. And then another large mirror. This component is a little bit darker. There's no white accents. However, it does have a very standard, what seems to be what Karity is going for, their kind of feel for the palettes. So like the rest of them seem to be of this kind of color scheme. We did have the Just Peachy palette, was a little bit different. So for these ones, we do have more of like the red tones as well as their chocolate colors, more of like an orange kind of, so they're all warm. Overall, everything within what I got is pretty warm. I mean, this Tiffany color is kind of cute. But that one's like more of a shimmer shade anyway. So I might be using a little bit of both, I'm not too sure. So this is basically a Valentine's Day look. Because, let's see, I mean, it's Valentine's Day. It's one of those things where you get to feel pretty, even if it's just for yourself, honestly. Because that's why I feel pretty, it's for myself. Anyway, so to begin, I am going to start right with the eyeshadows. That way, if there's any fallout, we can kind of move on from there. But I don't have a mirror in front of me, so I'm going to be using this little guy. I will bring you closer, of course, as things go. But let's see. Now, one of my favorite things to start out with before I get into that, because that's a whole other ballgame. So, first we gotta prime our eyes. So I do take the MAC Paint Pot in Painterly and just use my middle finger. I know they say you're supposed to use your ring finger because it's a lighter touch. However, to each their own, I guess. Personally, I find it has a little bit more of a specific application, however. Ring finger does have its purpose, right? Now, get that all primed up. Sometimes I like to drag it a little bit lower. I'm currently not using a concealer of any kind. I wish I was. I'm trying to get the Tarte Shape Tape in Canada. I don't want to go across the border. It's alright. Honestly, I'm just lazy about it, to be completely honest. But yeah, so to make sure I wasn't blocking your view too badly there. So yeah, I just do it all over my lid. Probably a little bit too much there because I was talking, but that's alright, right? Do you guys ever have bad habits where you wipe things onto your arms? I do that all the time. That or whatever I happen to be wearing, right? Okay. So I am using this little e.l.f. blusher palette as my mirror for just for that, but I do have mirrors in the palettes themselves, so we might as well use that, right? Okay. So to begin, I think I'm going to start with the Just Peachy palette. Now, let's see. So I'm just going to take this big fluffy brush. It's called the color, no, sorry. It's a knockoff Zoeva. Honestly, this one I found on AliExpress. It was like 17 bucks for the set, whatever. It's not the original, but it worked. I don't encourage shopping on AliExpress for makeup, but hey, there we go. Now, what I'm just going to start out with, just to kind of go all over the lid, I'm going to start with Freshly Picked. So the second one down. Now, just going to apply that all over the lid. Be a little over generous with it. It is a lighter shade just to get things going, so I have things to work with. Alright, here. Now let's see. So now for my transition shade, what am I gonna use? So, well, I want to start with Atlanta. It's a little bit darker than I think I wanted to have for a transition shade, but I mean, it'll work. It's matte. So Atlanta is what I'm going to go in with on my transition. So I'm just going to start it just above the crease and kind of pull it over, still above the crease, and into my eye socket. Now I do kind of like fluff it out and round it around the shape of my eyes. I do have round eyes. They're more of a little bit more almond at the end, however they're rather round, so I do like to emphasize that. Always work with what you got, right? So I pull myself over here and do the same on the other side. It's a little dark for a transition shade. Not mad at it though. Now I have played with these colors already. This is not a first impression. This is more of a total review. I've had some time to kind of play with them and figure it out for you. Now, I was really excited about trying these out simply because it was a really good price for what it was worth, and they seemed like they were really hyped up about the quality, so I thought it was my duty to test that out for you. So, moving on, just finishing up on each side. Again, it's a little much, I think, for my transition shade, so I'm just going to go back in with Freshly Picked, number 2, and just going to kind of soften that a little bit. I think the colors that I'm going to be using should be rather light, well, brighter colors, so I don't want it to be too dark right there. Now, just to kind of soften that up. Oh, I am completely blocking your view. I've probably been doing this whole time. It's a learning experience, I guess. All right. So, moving on. I am obsessed with this orange color. They call it Warm and Fuzzy. It's the one in the very middle there. So I'm going to go in with that. It looks a little more red on camera, I think. However, I love it. So first, just because I don't have a very good selection of brushes right now, I kind of start with this kind of pencil brush first, just to get it where I need it to go, and then I'll blend out with my fluffier brush that I have. It's they're not exactly the best. Again, they're knockoffs, right? You never trust something that's too cheap, right? Okay, so I'm just gonna go in here just to get above my crease and start with that brilliant orange shade, Warm and Fuzzy. Now I do like to kind of bring it a little farther over into my almond and snap it back. So I kind of snap it into a straight line as if it's going to be where, say, eyeliner would go. So I kind of snap it in and start to blend it up a little bit. Now I'm going to do my other side first before I get to blending. Make sure that my symmetry is okay. That's one thing I'm not the best at sometimes, is symmetry. So let's work on that and get these where it needs to be. Now, everyone's eyes are shaped differently on even each side of their face, not even between each other, like people to people, person to person, but they can be of different shape from eye to eye. So I do have a slightly different shape that I kind of work with, and I mean, everyone does. Just about finding your quirk and working with it, right? So now you'll find that I like to over-explain where my ideas come from and I guess what exactly I'm talking about, right? Now, I'm going to take that fluffier brush that I was using earlier, so this one here is a little bit fluffier, and go into the Warm and Fuzzy again, so just tap, tap, and I almost tried to look straight in the camera for that. Oh, so I'm just going to kind of buff it and blend it a little bit, blend it up and out, because I do want this to kind of be my backdrop to what I'm doing. Now, I really love how warm these are. I have naturally blue, green, kind of gray eyes, and blue is mainly the color I like to focus on with my eyes, and orange usually makes that pop. Now, for the longest time, I was wearing blue colored contacts from Air Optics. These brilliant, brilliant blue made me pop, so crazy cool. However, I ran out of those and didn't want to spend the extra money, the blue ones. So I got myself some AccuView Vitas, or whatever the hell they're called. Now, let's see here. How's she looking on camera versus... in my mirror. Let's see. I know they look different usually, but just by a small margin. Okay, so I've set out my Warm and Fuzzy. Okay. Now, I'm going to take that same pencil brush that I was using before. Oh, I might as well get closer to the camera. Ew. Yeah. Okay. So, I'm going to kind of deepen that color. Ooh, well, that was fun. So, I'm going to go in with Yummy, this kind of, oh gosh, that's a nice kind of movie. No, not mauve, that's magenta. That's what I'm looking for. Yeah, I'm going to go in with Yummy and add a little bit more color to my crease. So, now, with that being said, do like to deepen my sockets a little bit with darker colors. Now, this is kind of working into, this is just for the color I want. I think I'm going to deepen it farther to really add more depth to my socket of my eye, because I do have rounder eyes. I do like to focus on that. So I'm just going to keep tipping back in with Yummy. And, oof, it's pretty pink. Nice. Okay. Now for the other eye. Now I'll probably have to figure out a better way to film, because right now I do gotta stretch my back a little bit to get close to you guys. But we'll work on that. Overall, let's see. Okay. Now, for the eyes, it seems to be running really pink now. We got the orange behind it. It's kind of like more of a sunset going now. So what I'm going to do is let's see, what am I going to do? That's a good question. Now I do want to kind of fix the edges of my blending, so I'm going to dip back into Warm and Fuzzy, that orange shade, and I'm going to go in and kind of blend those two colors that I just laid down. So make it from that Yummy into that Warm and Fuzzy. Let's see. Gonna raise it a little bit higher into everything. Okay. Now, I keep blocking your view. I'm really good at this, aren't I? Awesome. Now, let's see. So, we are going to move on to a deeper shade. I want to darken that socket like I was saying, right? Now, I do see my viewfinder. It's looking a little crazy. But we're working on it, right? It's a process. Everything starts a little bit more dramatic. Plus, anyway, without a full face on, eyes look a little weird. But yeah, so moving on, I'm going to get into the very dark matte plum shade called Fruity. Let's see. So I'm going to take that same pencil brush that I've been working with and tap, tap. Now, I will say it is a buildable coverage so far. So the orange is a little bit patchier, the Warm and Fuzzy, and freshly picked I didn't really have an opinion on. It's a lighter color, you can't really see it very well. It did seem a little bit patchy overall, but Atlanta so far, Atlanta did work. Nice color, nice blending. It's a little orange and a little dark. I feel like there needs to be a better transition shade in here for what they chose to go in a 15-piece palette. Now, moving with that fruity into my actual crease here. I'm just going to try to fluff that out into the other colors. Blend it out. This is more for saturation than blending. I'm going to move in with that fluffier brush for blending in a moment. Just going to grab that other eye and deepen the socket. Now, I do kind of draw it all the way into my eye because I want to emphasize that round effect, right? Everyone has their preferences with how they shape their eye. Don't take my own word only. Realistically, you should find out what works for you. However, this is what works for me. So if it works for you, that's great. No. However, moving on. Now, I'm going to need to blend this a little bit more, so let me grab that fluffier brush I was using before and grab into Yummy. So I'm going to get back into Yummy, that kind of magenta shade, and just to kind of fill the gap between the orange Warm and Fuzzy and that fruity color. So I accidentally dipped into fruity because I said the word fruity instead of yummy. Lovely. So let's get back in there and blend. Now I am going to grab Warm and Fuzzy and further kind of blend that out. Now, sometimes I do hear that Canadian out in my voice, and other times I don't. It really depends on what I'm saying, I guess. Now, customer service jobs. That sure brings out the Canadian out in you. That's for sure. What kind of things do you guys do for work? Comment down below. What kind of job do you do? I currently do customer service over the phone, sales and whatnot. Pretty stressful, but I'm doing everything I can, right? Let's see. Sometimes I just can't please people, but I will. Now, different jobs and different stress levels have different effects on the body, of course. Like, when it comes to skin, stress can mean how much sebum you produce, and your hormones changing will kind of also alter that as well. So kind of be careful about what you put into your life and how you can handle it, right? I mean, just because you can get through it doesn't mean it's good for you. Let's see. So sometimes things like, waking up a little bit earlier, a little bit more time relaxing into your day, kind of help your hormones align, fix things up. And the amount of water too really makes a difference. I mean, I've been trying new things with my skin, trying to get it to where I need it to be, because I still have some dryness and some acne and all that stuff there. So going through different cleansing routines and trying different things. Overall, I'll keep you guys updated on that, because that's something that really decides how we work on everything else, because it's the foundation, right? Well, I put foundation on it, might as well take care of it. Now, that being said, let's finish up this lid here. Okay, so what am I going to do? Now, I've kind of gotten the colors that I wanted for everything in the backdrop. Now, let's get, I don't know, maybe try for the other palette if we're gonna, really be honest here. Let's see. Well, there's this pixie dust shade. So this, just kind of swatch that first for you. So this, we have, it's kind of like a rose goldy color. Now, the look that I have right now is a little bright. However, I kind of want to tone it down. So I am going to go in with that rose gold, since, it's Valentine's Day, right? a little bit more love in the air. Let's have a lovely rose color, at least for that. Now, so I'm gonna take a tiny little packer brush. Ooh, that's a lot of pigment. Okay, so I didn't dip in very much, but there is a lot of fallout on that. Let's see. Oh, I'm gonna lose some of that, aren't I? Alright. Oh well. Okay. So I'm gonna go in with that packer brush and layer the pixie dust. Now this one is a little bit higher on the fallout than the other guys have been. So this is on the Nudes and Rudes palette. Pixie dust is what I'm applying. Now this did have more of a purpley tone to it than the exact rose gold color. So I kind of toned it down, added a little bit of coolness to it, kind of taupey in comparison. Now I am gonna kind of fill this out because it's not. So I will say the pigmentation on these shadows, it's not like you're getting a hella deal on a super expensive palette. This is pretty good. It's better than drugstore. Better than drugstore, bigger pans, better formulas. However, it's not like Anastasia Beverly Hills or Urban Decay. So I mean, it's not like you're getting a crazy discount on a super expensive luxury palette or something. It's not professional level, I don't want to say. I was completely but now this brush that I'm using here, it is a Mica Bella packer brush. This is a little stiff, I want to say, but I mean, hey, I got these a couple years ago, and they're still kicking, the ones that I use, you know. Might as well. Now, just gonna kind of brush off some of this fallout, because that was a little crazy. A little crazy. Let's see. Alright, so moving on here. I think for our bottom lash line, let's see, which colors should I do? Now, I do like that fruity color at the bottom of the Just Peachy palette. I also like Persephone from the Nudes and Rudes. So, you know what, I'm onto both. I'm even going to go a little bit farther and kind of, I think maybe I'm also going to try some Decadence too from the Nudes and Rudes, so that really fiery orangey kind of pearl tone. Yeah. Ooh, that swatch is gross. That's a bad swatch. Ugh, finger swatches never really do it, do they? Okay. So I'm going to go back in with that so we have a knockoff pencil brush thing. And I'm going to grab... First I'm going to go in with Persephone. So, tap off my brush. It's got more of like a wine color going on, to be honest. So, let's check that. So I'm going to start at the very center of my eye. And kind of wash it back and forth. Now, I'm going to go do the same with Persephone under the other eye. Kind of like a swooping motion. I'm going along the shape of my eye, kind of darkening below. Okay. Now, gonna grab the Fruity from the Just Peachy palette. This one's more of a plum than a wine. The other one's more of a wine color. So, I'm going to take it from my outer corner, and I'm going to bring it into Persephone. Now, Persephone seems to be a little bit more pigmented than Fruity, so I might have to double back and change plans here. Well, I'm going to finish on what I started over here, so it matches. However, I'm probably just going to go over that with Persephone. So, Plum seems a little bit more buildable. Persephone seems to be a little bit more, ooh, I'm there, pigment. Now, I'm just going to move that in. Finesse. I keep blocking every man. I'm so great at this. Whew. Fantastic. Work in progress, guys. Alright, so going back in with Persephone. So, I'm going to clean that up a little bit. A little nasty. A little nasty. Okay. Now, what I'm working with this. A little much. Got a little too into fixing that. Okay. On that side. Just gonna abandon that side. Right into the other one. Okay. Now, once we are done this, I'm going to dip into that Decadence color over here. Okay. So I'm putting Decadence in my inner corner lower lash line, connecting the dots as it is. Now, gonna do the other side. Look a little crazy, I'm not gonna lie. However, it comes with a purpose. Now, I am noticing that I am a little bit darker on my right side than my left, so I'm going back in with Persephone along the edges here to darken it up. And so what I'm kind of doing is I'm kicking my edge upward. So I'm kind of winging my lower lash line out. That way it kind of adds a little bit more drama, because I will admit I don't do liquid eyeliner very often. Find it a little hectic. Fast hands. Let's see. That being said, let's do some depth. So I need to add some depth back into the crease a little bit. So I'm going to go back in with Persephone on this pencil brush, and I'm going to pull it up from where I stopped my, my flick, and I'm going to pull it in to the crease. There we are. Now, keep going this way. Back into crease. I think I went a little bit higher on the left crease than the right crease. Okay. Alrighty. Now, that blending up. Okay, so that is said and done. Now, looking at this, I do think I need to add a little bit something closer to the lash line. So, let's see. I'm actually going to use this packer brush again. Not probably low on brushes, not gonna lie. So I'm gonna take this packer brush and I'm gonna go into dark side. So dark side is this very far corner one. And I'm gonna go ahead and grab dark side. And so I'm gonna pull it in the corner, kind of lay the base to smoke out my upper lash line, right? So I'm taking dark side again. Karity, I don't like this dark side. It's like a black kind of slate gray, but it's a little patchy. So I'm going to go in with that pencil brush and pick up some more dark side and just kind of rub it in there. Soften that up a little bit. Keep going off camera. Hiding from you? I guess so, a little bit. No, I'm just going to do the same on the other side. I'm just going to skip the other brush I was using. That packer brush was doing me no good. It's too stiff. Just couldn't work with it. No. Well, when it's darker on this side. So, definitely buildable, but the pigment's like... it's like almost there. For what it's worth, definitely worth the price. Now, would I say it's professional? Maybe not. I don't love it, so maybe not. I guess if it was a little bit more pigmented, be a little bit happier with it. There's still a couple of shades that are like, they're pretty great. Not all of them. Not loving them all, huh? Anyway, so, kind of already went in with a little bit low lash line there in the corner. Now, I do want to add something into my inner corner. Now, I wonder if any of these, I do have this Golden State of Mind Color Pop palette. Let's see if there's anything color pops out of me. I don't know. Terrible jokes, terrible jokes. I'm here all week. Now, let's see. Golden egg. I think maybe Watch Out. Just gonna maybe. So this shimmer shade palette called Golden State of Mind, we do have over here a shade called Watch Out. I think it might work. Or try the one below it. It's not very shiny. Okay, I'm going to go in with Watch Out. It does seem to be a little light on the pigment, so I'm going to grab that. And just going to pop it in the corner. And that kind of did nothing. Yeah, that kind of did nothing. I'm probably just going to use highlighter for that. Okay. So eyeshadows, I think I'm done with. Just put that away. And I'm going to grab a pop of highlighter to put in my inner corner. Now my favorite highlighter is my Anastasia Beverly Hills Nicole Guerrero palette. Love it. I use it every day. Pans, this is my second one. I've already been through one of these. Pans are getting a little low in some of them. You can tell which ones I use most often. And let's see. Now, for what I've done today, I think I'm going to go in with Forever Young. It's that taupey kind of purpley shade. It's in the center. And take my pencil brush and put that in corner. Yes. Kind of goes better with that rose gold kind of thing we got going on. It's a little light on it, but it'll do. That'll do, pig. That'll do. Okay. It's pretty subtle. Alright. Now, let's move on to some mascara. Now, I do use the, oh Jesus, Maybelline Great Lash. So, this is the Maybelline Great Lash Big in Blackest Black. So this is the one that has that really big wand on it, right? So this one's that big chunky guy. Now, I like this because it separates my lashes. So what I do is I kind of shake it from top to bottom, wiggle it back and forth. And I use this to kind of give it a coating first, but separate everything, because I do like more of a fanned out eyelash. I don't particularly wear false eyelashes very often. I find them a hassle to put on to wear sensitive eyes and whatnot. Now, that being said, if any of you guys have any suggestions for fake eyelashes, given the fact that I really do have a sensitive set of eyes, I don't really like to play nice with that. I do wear contacts, so keep that in mind. But if you guys have anything that works for you, that you have also sensitive eyes or wear contacts, and find that there's a brand perhaps that you like to use and a method, let me know. Reply me a video, get me in the comments, DM me on Instagram, whatever you want to do, honey. You let me know. Let's see. That being said, Instagram is Tori May Tutorials. Snapchat, it's Tori May Tutorial without the S, right? Didn't have enough room. So top lashes, I like to kind of go straight or wiggle. Depends what I'm doing. If I'm coating them, I like to wiggle. And if I'm recoating them, I go straight usually. Now, that being said, I did my bottom lashes as well too here. I wiggled those. So, wiggle, wiggle. Wiggle, wiggle. Okay. Now, dip back in. Go into the other side. So, well, happy Valentine's Day, guys. You know, I know sometimes it can be a touchy holiday for some people. Not everyone reacts the same. Now, Hallmark holiday and all aside, right? It's still a really good time to, appreciate the people in your life that you love, even if it's not romantic, right? For example, my dad every year usually used to get me something for Valentine's Day, remind me that I'm loved. Otherwise, any chance you can to be thankful for what you have, do it. makes things a lot nicer. Makes life a lot nicer overall. But y'all came here for makeup, not life advice, so sorry. No. Not being applied. Now I do like to kind of let it dry a little bit. And I go back in with another mascara and I layer. Now, I do like to get it a little bit tacky first, so I'll leave it down. And I'm gonna pentagram. Let's see. I will say, this is upside down, and it's just because my friend gave me this. So she had sawed off the little thingy at the top, and then rethreaded it upside down, because she wanted an upside down pentagram. She just did it for the look, right? I'm being a Wiccan myself. I prefer to have a straight up one, but you know, whatever. Still does the trick, right? It's good when you look down at it and it's the right side up, right? It's just not to you. However, so I have my Great Lash Blackest Black. So this is their darkening and lengthening mascara. So this tiny little guy, very dark. What I do is I kind of darken it, make it more drama. So I'll go over what I've already done. And thicken it up a little bit, add a little bit more volume. Now, my lashes are already crunchy by this point from the first layer getting tacky. So this is a little bit harder to put on. But it's more for the color than anything. Realistically, you should start it the other way, where you start with this one and then move on. But, I guess I don't like to play by the rules. Not bad. Okay. So, moving on. I'm going to get into my foundation. I tend to do my foundation before my brows. I always do my brows last, because for me, in terms of getting ready in the morning, brows usually take the longest, because I do start with next to no hair, and I end up with something that looks a little bit bigger. So you'll get to walk through that process with me right now. So I'm just gonna clean up, make sure there's no fallout really under here before we get going. Okay. So, going to start out. I need some primer. So, for primer, I use Eucerin. So I use a face cream. So Eucerin is supposed to be for people with really dry skin. It's a replenishing face cream. I find that it has a pretty good 2-in-1 kind of effect. So it works really well as both moisturizer, and I find it lays a really strong base for foundation. It's very, dries down pretty tacky. Got a nice moisture balance going on. It's got a thickness to it that I like too. It's kind of like a gel mixed with cream, feels like. Hard to explain. Let's see. Get that in there. Make sure she all absorbs. Alright. Now, moving on, I'm gonna grab my, so this is a Quo branded makeup sponge. It's from a Shoppers Drug Mart here in the old Great White North. So what I have for foundation is the NYX Professional Total Control Drops. So this is in the shade TCDF03, which is porcelain. So 03 porcelain. So this is the second lightest shade that they actually make. I was surprised to see that they had a shade that was in fact lighter than this. I do believe that one is called Fair. I would totally use that as like an under eye brightening color. However, it's just the thickness isn't what you'd want for that, right? Okay, so it's a very thin foundation. I don't know if you guys have used this before. It's my favorite. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I literally dumped the entire jar. It says 1 to 3 drops, or something like 2 for like this coverage, and 3 for this coverage, and 4 for that. So like, I just literally put 1.5 freaking things, and I go to 10. So it's time to beat up the face. So grab my mirror. So different days, I beat my face in different ways. So sometimes I'll start like this, and I kind of start concentrating at one place and moving it around as I go. Sometimes though I like to dot it all over and start from there. The only problem with this foundation for that is that it's very thin, and it takes a while to set before it's good to really go with, but once it starts to set, you can't touch it. So let's get that going. I do enjoy doing the one side of the face first thing. It always felt like a good thing to do. We just see that comparison from one side to the other. Now, this foundation is kind of like a love-hate for me. It does have its cons, however, for me, the major pro was the price. I've gotten it for $15. However, I mean, it's usually around $18.50, depending on which shoppers you go to and which area. Yes, I'm adding more. But no, it's pretty good find for what it's worth. It's buildable to almost full coverage, I want to say. It's not like all the way there. For what it's worth, though, most full coverage foundations are so thick that you just hate yourself. But I mean, for what it's worth, it's pretty lightweight. The texture is interesting because you don't really expect a foundation to be that thin and work out very well, but it does. And it's interesting. My main thing for me with foundations, though, is shade. Because I have an interesting to match shade combination. Because, I mean, like most people, they have a yellow undertone or they have a pink undertone. I have, like, a neutral. I'm a little bit of both, but I kind of also have this, like, almost, like, bluish undertone. It's, like, a different... It's okay, so my skin's just so pale, and it's like you can see, like, the only pink that it has to it really is you can see the blood right underneath the skin because it's so translucent. So I'm not pale, I'm translucent, right? Very close to transparent if you ask me, but oh well. So, foundation. Nearly set. Yeah, I just need to get under there. I can get around my septum ring. I could have flipped this up and just taken it down afterwards. But you know, we're here, we're now. Let's keep going. Gotta clean off my septum. Okay, now that the foundation is laid, what I'm going to do here, give it a little bit of time to dry, but going in for our next steps, we're going to go in with some blush and some highlighter. So highlighter is my favorite part. always. I love highlighter. I am a glow goddess, and I will not have it any other way. Queen Victoria must have her highlighter. Anyway, but yeah, that's also where Tori comes from, by the way. Victoria. Queen Victoria. Anyway. So, ladies and gents, let's move on to a blush. So I'm going to be using this e.l.f. palette. So this is their light blush palette. I got it from Walmart. I think it was pretty darn cheap. I don't actually remember how much it was. Maybe like $4. Really cheap. e.l.f. products. They got the wallet thing down pat, right? Okay. I'm distracted. So which color would I like to use? So given the fact that we're kind of like warm and rosy, I'm going to go in with this kind of rosy shade here. Makes sense. Got a bit of a peach to it. Bit of a pink. Now, I do blush a little bit differently than some people too. So I'm going to warn you that right now. Now, I like the apples of my cheeks to be very pronounced. I have big apples, and I like to work with them. So, only thing, this blush, a little hard to work with. It's like, it's just there, you know? It's just so there. I'm literally bouncing in my seat while I do this. I hope you can see that, right? Now, I'm someone who doesn't really contour much, so I tend to use my blush to contour my cheekbones. So I tend to be very specific about how I place it. Sorry, my nose is itchy. Let's see. Get a little nose wiggle out of me, why don't you? Ow. Okay. So, for me, I focus on apples, and I draw it out into my contour, right? I don't know why I keep showing this. Oh, I'm so good at this. Okay. Now, just gonna grab that other cheek, turn the other cheek. Anyway, moving on. So, again, my one biggest thing is symmetry. Gotta make sure she looks the same on both sides. It doesn't yet, but I know that. Worst part is I always know that. It doesn't make it easier. Now, as I see, so this for most people is a little too much blush, and even for me it's a little too much blush. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take this big ass fluffy quo brush and I'm gonna buff it in. Don't have any pressed powder right now, otherwise I would subdue it with that, like pressed powder foundation. As some people call it, cake foundation. Anyway. That was a nice face, wasn't it? Yeah. Alright, so moving on. So I have laid my blush. Now, I'm just gonna kind of wipe that at the top, just to kind of warm up the edges. Don't really have a bronzer, so that kind of does it. And now, that being said, it's time to move on to highlighter, my favorite thing. And so, I use way too many shades of this when I do my makeup. Just a warning. But yeah, so what I like to do is I take this flatter brush here, and what I'm going to start off with, we are doing bit of a pink moment, but we do have some oranges here. So I'm going to do some layering. I do that a lot, especially with highlighter. I love highlighter so much. I have any excuse to wear as much of it as possible. However, so I'm going to start with the pink shade Kitty Cat here. And I'm going to take it on the top of my cheekbones. Ooh. Girl. Yes. I love highlighter. Not gonna go easy on saying that. I love highlighter. Whenever you think you've had enough highlighter, Tori gonna want some more. Alright, now I get it there. Buff it on. Now, for some people, highlighter is a last thought, something that people don't even use, right? It's like not in what they do. It's just not part of their routine. Let's see. However, it's my favorite part. That and, okay, so eyebrows is like one of my favorite things to accomplish. It's the most stressful thing to do. It's because I have next to no hair. It's not even for plucking anyway, too. Like, some people might think that by first glance. But, like, the only things I really get rid of are, like, the little bits that are, like, right down here. Like, I kind of manufacture my entire shape. I do kind of, like, cut it back a little bit so I can work with the shape better. Maybe one day I'll get a video of me doing that for you guys. I've never gone to a professional for my eyebrows. Don't really plan to, unless, like, you know, things blow up, my music gets out there and, you know, ends up having someone do everything for you. And so that happens. I plan on doing my own eyebrows. Anyway, ladies and gents, let's, my lighting's kind of iffy in here. It's a cool little light fixture. Maybe I'll snap you guys a picture of it. Okay, so for the center of my face, I'm going to go in with Forever Young. So Forever Young is that taupey color that we kind of dazzle our inner corner with. But I'm going to take that and go just down the bridge of my nose, on the center. Not the most precarious placement. I tend to wear a lot of highlighter and diffuse it out. My features are a little bit more rounded, so I do tend to keep to more of a rounded than a chisel. It's just who I am, right? Gotta work with what you got. However, I'm gonna take Forever Young and put it on my lip area, on my cupid's bow, and down here. So what I do is I press the lips and go like that, because it kind of gets me down here as well as up here. And we'll get rid of that when we do our liquid lip later. But yeah, so I also tend to do something also not many people do. I take Forever Young and I put it right here. So right between my eyebrows, and I spread it above my eyebrows, kind of just where the head does that thing where it, like, it's the highest point of the forehead. Does that make sense? I think it makes sense. So I'm just noticing, really. So look at my face. I missed some symmetry on the eye look. So I'm gonna grab the palettes back out again. And in my crease, I need to add a little bit more Persephone, this one right here, and to work with my crease shape a little bit better, because right now it's a little wrong. So, need to move on to eyebrows. Okay. So, I did want to do 2 colors on my highlight today, which is actually a little weird. So, before I do that, sorry, I'm going to go in with the gold color, Glow Getter. And I'm going to take that and put it the very top of where I already did my kitty cat, just to kind of warm it up just a little bit. There we go. And brushes left over on everything else to make it a little bit more succinct. Just put it all together. Okay. Now, my favorite part and the hardest part at the same time. Well, my second favorite part. But still, the hardest part. We're going to get into eyebrows. So, I used to be a Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Wiz kind of girl. And I have since upgraded to Dip Brow. So this is the color Auburn. I'm going to be taking Auburn as my color for my eyebrows today. So first I'm just going to begin by brushing it up and out. Up and out. From those little babies. Things gonna change. You see them with those on. Okay. So, take a bit of product onto the brush. About that much. And does nothing for my focus. Anyway, so I close it up and take it and spread it out on the lid. So I just get it all off of the brush and kind of make it as thinly on the brush as possible. Leave the rest there for later. So what I'm going to do here is I start below. I draw my line in. So I draw my baseline. So this is my bottom line that I start the rest of my eyebrow shape with. Let's see here. Okay. So I grab my baseline, I run it all the way along, and I curl it into my tail. I snap it down. So I do this on both sides first, because for me it's hard to get symmetry unless I do them at the same time. It's different though. Some people are amazing at everything. Not me. I have my flaws. I like to make them pretty obvious, to be completely honest, because humans have flaws. They are far from twins. They are definitely cousins today. So I'm just gonna brush up and out a little bit. There we go. Okay. So that is it. I brought this one a little too bit far forward. Just gonna kind of fix that up. And this is harder to do on a camera than I thought. Okay. Well, that's gonna have to do for now, guys. So, I would like to thank you so much for watching. I know we had a little bit of an angle issue during that, but final thoughts on the Karity palette. So, like I was saying, definitely more pigment than you get at the drugstore, better pricing than you get at Sephora, but between the two, definitely. So for what you can get at Shoppers, it's going to be better than that. And what you can get at Sephora, you might find better things at Sephora, but you'll have a bigger price tag for sure. That being said, I would like to thank you so much for watching, guys. Now, do make sure that you hit subscribe as well as the little alarm button, that little bell. Make sure you do get notifications when I do post. But I'll also be coming back with something that is just eyebrow related for you guys. As well, if there's anything you'd like me to review, highlighter, eyeshadow, whatever, foundation, something with something pale enough for me, leave it below in the comments and I'll give it a try. Follow me on Snapchat, Tori May Tutorial without the S, and Instagram, Tori May Tutorials with an S. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope you have a wonderful day. Happy Valentine's Day. And I will see you soon. Thanks. Bye. Now, I did manage to forget actually to put on my lipstick. So just to iterate here, I did put it on Snapchat. So if you were watching my Snapchat, you would have seen Tori May Tutorial, but I do have on my Huda Liquid Matte. I forget which shade this is. The little thingy at the bottom fell off. I think it might be Trophy Wife or something. But I did apply that on Snapchat. Again, I just want to really thank you guys for watching. With that being said, something I would like to note with the Karity palettes, I have tried them out, like I was saying, a little bit beforehand, but I didn't find that they last 100% as long as some of the other guys. Just even the mattes, they just get a little muddy over time, but that's my personal opinion. So with that being said, to wrap this up, thank you. I hope you have a wonderful day. Take care. Bye.